The feds recently visited Adam 22, and before they left, they had a very frightening message for Big U. Since the arrest of Big U, Loose Cannon, Brick Baby, and other Rolling 60 members, Adam 22 is officially the first public figure to come forward and admit the feds paid him a visit regarding this Big U RICO. The Big U RICO indictment include charges of bank fraud, wire fraud, human trafficking, murder, extortion, more specifically the murder of Rayshawn Williams. But when the feds pulled up on Adam, they really had no interest in none of what we just talked about. They actually had interest in something that we didn't know at all that the feds were looking into Big U for. And we have to date back a little bit, about a year or so, to really review what's going on here. You can see about a year ago, Loose Cannon did an interview on No Jumper. And during this interview, Loose Cannon said a lot of things regarding his role with Big U when they used to work together. He also revealed the call he got from Big U the day that Nipsey Hussle passed away.
We were doing a TV show like a while back, right? And I'm on a phone. He FaceTimed me. So he FaceTimed me and stuff like that. He was like, Nipsey just got killed. I'm like, sick, so I didn't hear that. So I hang up with him. I called Nipsey, and I'm like, Nipsey, what's up? He was like, oh, what's up with it?
Nipsey answered.
Nipsey answered. He answered the phone, and I was like, I love you, cuz, or whatever like that.
Did you tell him the call you just got, or you didn't even mention it?
I didn't mention it. And that's what fucked up, because my cousin is Nipsey baby mama. You get what I'm saying? So it was like, I could have probably stopped it, or it had it.
Stop what? Fuck you mean? That fuck you talking about?
No, because listen. So after I talked to Nipsey, and I was like, "Yeah, I love you, cuz," or whatever like that. I see you later, or whatever. So I hung up the phone. I thought Big U gave wrong information. 30 minutes later, the homies blowing me up like they just killed Nipsey, and so I'm like,
wait. You get a call from Big U telling you Nipsey just got killed.
Yeah.
You panic, called Nip. Nip answered the phone.
Yeah, and
you
we
like
were just talking on regular. So it's like at the end of the day, I didn't even think about it because
you don't even warn him that you got that call from dude.
No, because their relationship was so fucked. It'd be like they be hot one minute, then they be cold the next minute, and then they be lukewarm. Like you
and
just
30
never
minutes after you get out the phone with Nip, he get killed.
Yeah, I got it.
So you think he hit you a little too early?
Yep, he hit me a little bit too early because the homie Shitty double back 3 times. You get what I'm saying? And first he shot him, boom, go into the alley, came back and shot him, boom. It wasn't good enough, and then he came back and he shot him again. But now it's like
how did he know?
Yeah, no, but
that's crazy.
It's deep. So
let me tell y'all something. Me working at No Jumper, being in the building, I was there when this particular interview happened, and I understand the madness and the chaos this interview caused. I'm talking about people from every walk of life who probably is associated with people at No Jumper were tapping in. How could y'all let Loose Cannon do that? Big U's peoples was tapping in, sending legal notices like, hey, y'all sure you're trying to platform this? You know this is cap, right? But here's the thing, though. See, this isn't really the first time that this discussion of did Big U have something to do with Nipsey Hussle's death? This isn't the first time that this was discussed on platforms. Big U himself discussed it on No Jumper.
Because when Nip passed away, automatically Big U did it or had something to do it or did this, did it. And Nip just be like, social media, the investigator now come to your house like, hey, what's the deal, bro? You know what I'm saying? You did it. Like,
the suckers for switching too, because I seen when it first happened how they was man, that's crazy. Like I remember Unc went live too, and he's sitting there talking about it. I'm like, that's crazy that y'all, if y'all really know them and you know their situation, them loved each other. Like,
bro, now you don't even got to go through that. We was just in every video, like how we was beefing when all his songs, every album he put out, since we had the so-called altercation. He shouted me out. He got the goddamn keys to the city. Like what? Didn't he say, I want to be Big U? Oh no, what did he say? Big U, like J Prince and Big Draws? And then, I mean, like, what do he say? Big, he shot me out of every song.
Even though he's been dealing with allegations that he's involved in Nipsey's death for a couple of years now, and he's no stranger to addressing it, he still had a problem with that particular No Jumper clip. Now, in the clip, Loose Cannon never said that Big U was involved. He never said Big U was the one who did it. All he said was Big U called me 30 minutes before the incident, and he predicted Nipsey Hussle's death, and he kept it at that. But Big U still felt like that clip was damaging enough to where he needed to get involved legally. Loose Cannon told Adam that he has footage of him and Big U actually on the FaceTime having a conversation, and he was adamant that this was a real conversation that took place. But because Adam hadn't seen the footage directly, when Big U and his team of attorneys reached out and filed a cease and desist to No Jumper to remove all content accusing him of calling Loose Cannon 30 minutes before Nipsey Hussle's death, Adam was forced to oblige. He was forced to take down the clip.
What's that?
We received a cease and desist from Big U about some of your claims and Loose Cannon's claims, I guess, on this podcast. And after having it evaluated by our legal team, they told us that they thought it was a good idea for us to remove the episode.
It doesn't make sense to fight it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to bring you the content just so you'll know he got the content. But I get it. It's
if you have the content, I think you should release it to the world so the world can see it, right?
Well, it'll definitely come out to the people that's going to come out through.
Where do you think this is coming from? Since
Just
you're an expert at psychoanalyzing Big U,
put it like this.
Big Yusufer.
It's some people that paid 6 figures, not high, not low, not a 1, not a 4, but maybe a 2, that's in the Middle East, that wants the footage. Why, I don't know. Now, these same people...
Wait.
Hold on.
The footage of Nip or the footage of the Big U phone call?
Listen to me. They want the footage of the Big U phone call. Now, how I know these people...
The Saudi government wants to own this?
It's not the government.
Okay.
These same people are the ones that been trying to buy that other footage for years. So I think they feeling like if we purchase this... When it's time for dude to want to do what he want to do with it, if Wack gets out the way, we can purchase that.
To this day, we still haven't seen the footage. I don't know if the footage exists or don't exist. I don't know, but we haven't seen it. So fast forward a few years later, Big U gets indicted for this RICO. Adam 22 gets a visit from the feds.
So much for being fresh. If the feds watching, I made it 41 years into this life before I had involvement, conversation with federal agents. And when they showed up, I was wearing a red Nike Tech. Not exactly the definition of fresh, but I got a crazy update. I'm going to do the Good Diligent Podcaster thing, and I'm going to save it for tomorrow at 4 p.m. with Lush and some surprise guests. So make sure you tune in tomorrow. The 22ster has got a big update. Tap inwardly.
Now, this is where things start getting interesting. Now, we all assume if the feds is coming to Adam in this particular moment after the indictment, of course they're coming because they want to subpoena the footage from No Jumper, right? That, that includes the unedited versions of Brick Baby and Loose Cannon talking about things the feds have interest in. Of course, they will want the unedited footage of the quote-unquote robbery and beatdown the feds are accusing Loose Cannon of doing outside of No Jumper. No. When the feds show up, they didn't want none of that. They didn't have no interest in any of that. As a matter of fact, it don't even look like they have any interest in this particular RICO indictment. It looks like they are investigating something else. Because when they showed up to Adam 22's house, they said, listen, you're not in trouble, man. We just want the cease and desist letter that Big U sent you.
But while I'm in my house, I'm playing poker on my computer, a guy comes to my front door, and I didn't actually even know, but my girl was communicating with him through the box in the front of our house with the camera. She texts me. She says, a dude is here from the FBI, and basically he's trying to serve you with a subpoena. And so she told him, like a ride or die would, she told him, Adam's not here, and he's off at work or whatever. I forget what she told him. And so I immediately hop on the line with my lawyer, I say, what should I do? I don't want to, handle this situation wrong. Over and over and over, I've sat down with rappers or whoever who tell me about situations in which they divulge too much information to the police or whoever, and it ended up coming back to bite them. Especially, something that comes to mind is like Hurricane Chris, who caught a body that was blatantly self-defense. This is the thing that my lawyer comes back to me with. She said the feds were interested in one thing and one thing only. Because in my head, I'm thinking they're going to want copies of the podcasts that Brick or Luce were on. They're going to want to make sure that there wasn't anything in those podcasts that was edited out. Now, anybody who knows me and No Jumper knows that we really don't like to edit things out. So the only stuff we're editing out is if it's like a 4-alarm fire, like, yo, we need to take this out. So I don't think there's ever been something that Brick or Luce told us that they needed us to edit out. But the one thing that the feds wanted was the cease and desist from Big U to No Jumper, asking us to take down the episode in which Loose Cannon first made the explosive statements that suggested that Big U had previous knowledge of Nipsey Hussle's death. Now, that situation is very much outside of what was mentioned in the indictment. In the indictment, there's nothing about Nipsey. There's nothing about any of that stuff.
Here's why this is a very scary message for Big U. See, when you read the indictment, they sprinkle in Nipsey Hussle all across the indictment. But they sprinkle him in weird times, as if they're trying to send Big U a message. Here's what I mean when I say that. Big U is not being charged with any crimes related to Nipsey Hussle. So it's kind of weird how much time the feds spent talking about Nipsey Hussle in his RICO. So the feds will document a 2008 altercation where apparently Nipsey Hussle and Big U were getting into it. A diss song was released from Nipsey's behalf. Big U didn't like it, so Big U pulled up on Nipsey Hussle to quote-unquote discipline him, and things went left. Black Sam wasn't going to allow his brother to get touched. Guns got shot, people got arrested. So the feds documented that particular incident. If I'm Big U, I'll be concerned about how the feds followed up their entire documentation of Nipsey Hussle and Big U's relationship. They followed that up with, oh yeah, Nipsey Hussle was murdered by a member of the Rolling 60s in 2019. So you follow our entire history up just to say that. Are you trying to say something? The feds would then follow this up where they document Big U's and Nipsey Hussle's tumultuous relationship, saying your Nipsey was killed. We don't know who did it, but he was killed. And then they followed it up by quoting Big U from a wiretap where Big U was telling somebody that he's gonna pull up and he's not retired yet from the gang. And you know what happened to the last person who thought he was retired. That's in reference, according to the feds, that's in reference to Nipsey Hussle, because like the beef and the chaos that took place between Nipsey and Big U was Nipsey was becoming sort of like the voice and the face of the hood. Big U has always been the voice and face of the hood for, as long as he's been alive. So that's what the feds are saying. Not Flacco, but the feds are saying that right there caused a lot of chaos and turmoil between Nipsey Hussle and Big U. The feds didn't stop there. Bro, they spent a lot of time on Nipsey and Big U, which is concerning if I'm Big U. They would recall a wiretap where on December 31st, 2022, Big U recounted being bigger than any Rolling 60 members, including Nipsey Hussle. Now, on that same day, the feds will claim that Big U also stated if he had an issue with anyone, they would no longer be alive. You see how the feds set it up? You see how slick they are, bruh? The feds don't just spend time talking about things and events in a RICO that's irrelevant. For some reason, the feds believe that that's relevant. For some reason, the feds believe a cease and desist to No Jumper about a clip talking about Nipsey Hussle's death, that's relevant. Hey, man, this is bad, bro. This is, at this point, I think they just trying to cook Big U, man, because, can you imagine? They don't even need to win the court case. If they charge Big U with this is like not playing fair, bro. Because you took away this man's freedom. Now you're trying to take away his lore and his good graces within his own gang. Oh, nah, But hey, so far we don't know why the feds want to cease and desist, okay? We don't know yet. Let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this? Do y'all think this is a scary message for Big U? Do y'all feel like this is nothing?
So how do you guys feel about the Big U Nipsey Hussle situation? I'm not even going to lie. I was in a gas station and Big U, you know, I saw him with the Crenshaw hat and I think he was selling like some cigars. And just seeing him, it definitely gave me a cringy look. Like, you know, it just didn't sit right with me, just the energy and vibe. I literally said to myself, you know, I felt like he's trying to be like Nipsey. We all know Nipsey's the face of Crenshaw and more so California. But I felt like Big U definitely didn't like the spotlight and the power Nipsey was gaining. And I definitely think that Big U was involved in Nipsey's death. I felt like Nipsey's death, it was definitely some foul play. Like, I felt like it was definitely more to the story than they gave to the public. And for Loose Cannon to come out and say Big U knew Nipsey was going to die 30 minutes before Nipsey passed, on top of all the new charges he recently just got, I definitely feel like Big U's future isn't looking too bright. And this is a situation where whatever you do in the dark, it will come to the light eventually. And I'm a huge Nipsey fan. I'm kind of salty Loose Cannon didn't warn Nipsey. We never know what would happen if Nipsey would have got that warning. He possibly still be here today. But how do you guys feel about Adam 22? Do you think he's the feds? Me personally, I feel like him and DJ Vlad are just culture vultures and they're just trying to take from the culture. They're not trying to add. So I do feel like in a way they are the feds because either you're trying to add to the culture or you're taking away from the culture. So it's a very sad situation, but I hope justice will be served, especially for Nipsey. You know, if Big U had a part to play in this, he definitely should be taken down. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. I love you guys. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. We out.